Take a look.
March the 20th, 2024. I am Adriel Pearl, and it's time to get in the weeds. Jeremy Lambert is here because, of course, he is. Who else would be here? It's just us. No one else wants to be here more than we do. When we come here, we work hard. We do. We talk for 2 hours. Sometimes we don't know if we'll get there, but we always do. And then you know what else we do? We do callbacks. Like, Jeremy, I have a question. First of all, how are you doing?
Good. I have no idea where you're going with this.
Why were you, how can I put this? Describing a,
Should I play the clip? Should I play the clip?
Play the clip.
All right. Hold on. You gotta
get the clip.
Yeah. I didn't know where you were setting.
No, I said we were going to do this right at the top.
Okay.
We got to talk about this. Yeah. There you go.
All right.
Yeah.
So what Joel is referring to.
Oh, I'm giving you the Iggy, by the way. So have fun.
Well, perfect timing then. All right, everybody. As my internet attempts to, do things here. All right, everybody. Take a look. You open your legs in invitation, and she slowly, softly reaches into your bottoms. You throw your head back on the pillow, loving the gentle way she starts playing with you. She puts her hand right where you want her, and you almost hiss between your teeth when you feel it. Your moans only encourage her further. Marissa's hands move with more intent, and after a few moments, she speeds up, and you move with her, pressing against her. All the sexual tension between you comes to a head, and you soon explode. Tidal waves of ecstasy washing over you. After you're done, she kisses your nose and rolls to her back.
I feel like I'm 12 years old right now.
Narrated a blow job or a hand job. Oh, there we go. So, everyone knows SV3. He's been on this show many a times. He's co-hosted this show. We've argued on this show. Soon people know our pal Share Delaware. We do this silly show. It's called FMC every Tuesday. And we play this silly game called Too Hot to Handle Mobile. If you've never heard of the Too Hot to Handle, it is a reality show on Netflix where they get a bunch of horny people. Yeah, we're demonetized already. Yeah, right off the bat, demonetized. Too Hot to Handle is a Netflix show where they get a bunch of horny, 20-year-olds, and they lie to them and say, hey, you're here for a great vacation where all you can do is hook up with each other and have a bunch of fun. And then they learn that it's not that show at all. It is a show where you are not allowed to have any type of sex or sexual activity, or you get fined. You get docked money. There's a prize pool of $200,000. A kiss is worth $3,000. A hand job is, we learned, worth $4,000. Sex is worth $20,000. So this is a real show, and they made a mobile game out of it, and we play this mobile game. What you just watched was a part of the mobile game that we played yesterday, and I'm the narrator on this mobile game, and I had to narrate that scene. I don't know what you want me to do. Thank you, Chi-Town Spurs, for sending in super chats. Kind of fitting to start this morning off with Gene blasting. Yeah, we're paying tribute to Yoda Tsuji, baby. New Japan Cup 2024 winner. All right. That's what happens on this mobile game that we play. I don't know what you want me to tell anybody. I do my job well. Is that a crime? Is it a crime to do my job? My job is to narrate the mobile game. That's exactly what I did. And for some reason, this upsets people. Would you rather me not? Do you not want me to do the narration for the mobile game? It's the game we play. It's all about the game and how you play it. And we play the Too Hot to Handle mobile. And I had to do the narration for it. So that's how we started this show, everyone. Joel completely just run off out. He's like, nope, not doing any of this. He set me up to talk about this, and then he didn't stick around to have the conversation. He just went away, left me here on my own to talk about handjobs, which you can do solo or with someone else. And if you sit on your hand and make it numb, you can do it. It can feel like it's someone else. It's called a stranger. Why Solable gets it? Why Solable gets it? They're just tips for everybody. Just tips for everybody. What's hilarious is the wife is messaging me of what is happening on this show. What is happening? Yeah, I was reading what I was given. Don't put it on the teleprompter if you don't want me to read it. Don't put it on the screen if you don't want me to read it. Joel's not an adult, Senior Nerd. Joel's not an adult here. We've all got to have these talks at some point in our lives, okay? All right? We all have to have these talks. I'm like The Rock, just repeating myself to make the segment longer. Honestly. It's a great inside reference. Sorry, I spoiled it and had to give away the secret there. But there's levels to this game. Absolute levels. This is very true. For anyone curious, Ren Solon says, the game moves forward without our character cleaning up after the handy. Yeah. Got the hand job and then just went to sleep. The pants were crusty, hard, or the sheets, whatever. Maybe we didn't know. We didn't know where he finished on. All right. Could have finished on something for all we know. Just exploded, and then moved forward with things. Went to sleep. Got a kiss on the nose as well. So why Solable? No. We attempted to, and she did not want to break any more rules. Let the record show our character was attempting to reciprocate. But the mate we were with already decided we'd broken enough rules, and so did not want to break any more rules. And we respected that. We've already broken a lot of rules in this game. We've cost the Villa a lot of money. A lot of money. Everyone should watch FMC. Yes, Luis, this is something from FNC. Go back and watch it yesterday. I already posted the clip on my social. I'm not going to post it again. Or I'm not going to play it again here on this show. I've already played it. Restart the show if you want, Luis. You can catch up very quickly. Yeah, Marissa did not want to lose any more money. We've already lost a lot of money. But we did not lose $20,000. Justin and Jada lost $20,000 for hooking up. We've only lost... It's $3,000 for a kiss. It's $4,000 for a hand job. Wouldn't you just go the extra and lose the extra $1,000? Like at that point, you're going to get more. out of one thing over the other. $1,000 difference? Just go all the way. Not all the way with the hands, Not all the way. Not sure yet, Louis. We haven't been able to break down that barrier to see how much that costs. We might get there. We're in the middle of breaking a whole lot of rules. A whole lot of moves. Yeah, we're trying to lose the entire pot. Ace Shock. That is the goal. I'm pretty sure it's like an unsaid goal between myself, SP3, and Share Delaware. But I think we all know that's the goal, is to lose the entire pot and have nothing left. Yes, Joel's been fired. He hasn't actually been fired as of yet. I try to fire him every single day. Joel set me up to talk about hand jobs, and then he ran away. So here's a spoiler. It's not even a spoiler. A-Shock saying the game ends in an orgy. That was brought up yesterday. That was brought up during the gameplay. An orgy was brought up. And in the cliffhanger, our character walks into the bedroom and hears two people moaning. What happens next? Tune in to FMC next Tuesday at roughly 9:30, maybe 10. We'll be talking about basketball first, but after the basketball talk, we'll play more Too Hot to Handle Mobile. Do we join in on the orgy? Or it's not an orgy yet. It's two people moaning. We don't know what they're doing. We don't know what they're doing yet. We're not going to make any assumptions. But will we join in on the two people moaning? Tune in to FMC for Too Hot to Handle Mobile with myself, SB3, and Share Delaware to see if we can get an orgy started. I don't know when Joel will be back. No idea. No idea if or when Joel will be back. He might be fed up with this, honestly. He might have just set me up to talk about this, and then he's done. That was it. He left me here on my own. And that's going to be that. So you know what I'm going to do? Unless people want to keep talking about hand jobs and blow jobs and sex, let me know in the chat. Leave a super chat. What I'm going to do is something that I did yesterday on Discord. I posted a thing in our Discord about a question of the day. The daily Discord. I forgot what I called it already. All right. I already forgot. But you leave a question in our Discord chat, and we will pick something at random, and we will speak, or we'll answer the question. I don't even know if we got any questions. We got a few. That's good. Glad we got a few. You know what? I'm gonna daily Discord discourse. There you go. That's actually something. That's good, Jeff Elliott Driver. So I'm gonna answer both of these questions here. So I assume this is Ryan Lambert. Oh, Chi-Town Spurs is actively typing in the Discord right now. Ryan Lambert says, non-wrestling, what's one music album you think people should listen to at least once in their lives? I mean, y'all know I'm going to answer like a Taylor Swift album, right? Any Taylor Swift album. I don't care which one. I personally think it should be Red. But if you want to listen to 1989 or Speak Now or Evermore or Folklore or Midnights, you should do that as well. Eminem announced a new album. I guess Dr. Dre announced it. I'm wearing my, hold on. I'll be like Steven Jensen showing off my hoodies. Shady hoodie there. New Eminem album coming at some point this year. All right, A-Shock.
Who the hell told you tonight was open mic night, bitch?
I couldn't do this anymore. I'm sorry. I don't even know what the hell the last 15 minutes were for you.
Oh, you want to recap it, Joel?
Not at all, because I'm looking at the chat and they seem to be well done with whatever you were just doing.
You set me up to talk about this.
I didn't
and
realize
then you went away.
I didn't realize you'd get 15 minutes out of this. Am I going to have to do something about that? Am I going to have to cut out the first 20 minutes of this show?
We might get demonetized immediately.
Listen, it's already happened. I'm already accepting a golden dollar sign here. Did you tell
What do you mean 15 minutes? The
Yeah, no one does, Ryan. No one does.
That clip is only our character didn't even last that long. He was done after 30 seconds. He didn't even last very long.
Oh, man,
you set me up to talk about this, Joel.
Yeah,
you said we were going to address it right off the top. So I addressed it, and then you ran away.
It's the worst time to take an important phone call.
You ran away. Standard practices. Is that who that was, Joel? You tell standards and practices off is a direction they can fuck.
Well, at least you waited 15 minutes to drop an F-bomb, unlike Cody Rhodes. Oh, leave a thumbs up after whatever Jeremy just did, because I'm sure we're going to have to defeat that ratio. Let's point to the sign. It's WrestleMania season. Subscribe to us if you really want to. Here,
people are going to listen to they're going to tune in. They're going to start watching the show I can't wait for my favorite morning show, In the Weeds. And they're going to hear that first 10 minutes never again. Never. You're going to have to, monitor some comments here of had to turn the show off after 10 minutes because all Jeremy was talking about was hand jobs and stuff.
Well, I mean, you scared away Kim.
I'm sorry.
Said someone tweet me when the wrestling talk starts.
Well, we'll tweet you in a couple of years.
Somebody tweet Kim and tell her I'm back and here to save the show. But I know that listen, the crowds are full, so the show doesn't need saving after all.
It's not. You set me up for this, Joel, and then you had to go away, so I had to fill time. And much like we're gonna, never
mind. Yep. Anyway. Donate a super chat. Get your question and statement read on the air. I know somebody already did earlier. Thank you for that. Yeah, I'm sure you read it. Did you read the super chat?
I read all the super chats, I think.
Yeah, it's one from Chi-Town Spurs.
Yeah, I read them all.
All right, good. Thank you for that. All right, where do you want to start? Please
talk about hand jobs some more.
I don't want to.
Do you get kissed on the nose after a hand job, Joel?
After, no. Before.
So I tweeted that yesterday.
You get kissed
and people were very concerned for me. I appreciate everyone's concern. My friend, the famous or infamous Sam Katie, messaged me and was like, "Are you okay, buddy?" And I'm like, "I'm good. I'm fine." And then I explained it to him. He was like, "Oh, all right." So I appreciate that people were genuinely concerned after I tweeted that I narrated a hand job. Thank you for your concern, everyone. I'm good. That's all.
Anyway.
It's a game.
So people are talking about the Motor City Machine Guns in the chat. We saw that they announced at 2300 Arena, the tapings this weekend. It's going to be Alex Shelley versus Nick Nemeth. And of course, there's a conversation about contracts maybe being done with Motor City Machine Guns. Where are they going? Are they going to go home? It's been 20 years. They are home.
So they are home. Where's home? New Japan?
TNA.
Yeah, they are home.
That one time they worked an AEW show randomly. They just kind of showed up.
That was so strange because they weren't setting that up at all. They're like, here's the Motor City Machine Guns.
Everyone was like, let's go. And I was just like, where's
it was cool, but it had nothing to do with what they were actually building.
It's very strange. Anyway, I listen, do I know where they'll land? No. Do I care? No. And it's not because I don't care about Motor City Machine Guns as wrestlers. It's more because like I know they're good. I also know that like TNA has a lot of talent that's kind of waiting to move up. And Cresta and I talk about this on our post show every Thursday. It's like there are a lot of people who are ready to move up the ranks and take on whatever positions Motor City Machine Guns have had. The only thing that is going to be really missed if they both decide to call it quits from TNA or leave TNA is the background work that they do, the backstage work. Saban is a great producer. Shelly is someone that is around to be talked to and discussed with. So there are certain voids that would be filled backstage. But again, there are enough people backstage that can also help out with that. It's just, it would suck. But at the same time, I've seen a lot of some Motor City Machine Guns in TNA over the last 20 plus years that I wouldn't mind the refresh.
I agree with you. I always say this. I'm always interested in, where people go that isn't where they've been. I'm always curious as to what it looks like because we don't always know. We know what they are in TNA. They've had great runs in TNA. They've both been singles champions in TNA. Alex Shelley was just the TNA world champion. Chris Sabin was just the X Division champion. They've been tag team champions. We kind of know what it is in TNA. Don't fully know what it is in AEW. They boost that tag division. If they could get the tag division, they're going to crown new champions at the pay-per-view. But the tag division's been a little off kilter for a few months now. Ricky and Bill held the titles, but their feuds were never the focus of things. Sting and Darby was a good story, but that was a 2-week thing to cap off Sting's career. Now we'll see if the Bucks win, if they hold the titles, or you can go to WWE. And I don't fully know what that looks like. Do they stay in NXT and help there? Do they go to main roster? Are they the surprise team in the 6-pack ladder challenge? I don't know if there is going to be a surprise team.
I don't think there is. The only surprise team there should be is Dominic Mysterio and JD McBighead.
Well, maybe it's a 7-pack. They think it's going to be 6.
It's the hard.
It's going to be 6.
They're coming.
But whoever's hosting WrestleMania, CM Punk, I guess, he's like, I'm not a drinker. I don't know much about 6-packs, but I do know that if you buy a 6-pack, you get one free, which isn't really true, but
no, you really don't.
Yeah.
You're better off being like CM Punk comes out and says, I don't know much about the Motor City, but play the clip. And it's WrestleMania 22 and he's holding a machine gun for John Cena. He says, I know about machine guns. And
that's not good. No, can't do that.
What? It's Mania. What are they going to do?
Yeah.
Send him a memo?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I would be very curious to see them in WWE and in that setting. I think they'd add a lot to AEW. We've spoken to Alex Shelley on this show.
Well, we tried, but we did get there.
His volume was just kind of low.
Yes,
it was a good interview. It was a good interview.
Fix the audio.
Yeah. But we've spoken to Alex Shelley. We've had people on who have wrestled Motor City Machine Guns, either together or separately. If you don't know about Motor City Machine Guns, you're just not paying attention. But if you don't know, like, what you see from the Young Bucks, a lot of that, especially their early work, now, like, they've obviously developed their own style and everything. But Motor City, when it comes to, like, stringing together tag team moves and working in cohesion the way they do, influenced an entire generation of tag team wrestling. And people don't always give them their credit for that because it was all in TNA or just on the ROH or just the independent scene in general. But yeah, Motor City, like, legitimately one of the most influential tag team on this current generation. Whether these teams know it or not, like, if they're taken from the Young Bucks, they're taken from Motor City Machine Guns.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been instrumental, like you said, in a whole new style of tag team wrestling over the years. So where they wind up is obviously up to them, but I do wonder, like you, where they would fit in other companies. Again, we saw them in AEW, but we saw them for one match, and
It doesn't count.
it was also a multi-person match. It wasn't just a straight up tag match. So it would
There was
be
no real
nice.
build. It was
Yeah.
just take a look. Here's the Motor City Machine Guns.
Yeah, it's The Rock just standing on a big stage and saying, "Take a look," and then out come the Motor City Machine Guns. But I would like to see them in either WWE or AEW. Obviously, in AEW, there are a lot of really cohesive tag teams and really good tenured wrestlers there. So the matches would be great. I'm sure they could make the stories out of their history. The Young Bucks versus the Motor City Machine Guns is so easy. They'll make so many Generation Me jokes that we'll just have our heads spin. And in WWE, I think others have pointed out the fact that like maybe they don't stay on the roster. Maybe they're great for working backstage. And we just touched on that. Both men have experience. There's also the other side of it is Alex Shelley is a very successful, he's very successful outside of wrestling. I want to say he's in PT. I think he's in physiotherapy. But regardless, like the dude has a legitimate background that keeps him busy when he's not wrestling. So he could just remain on the independents, do his thing, and do his other work while Saban does what Saban does. And I could see Chris Saban going to a place like WWE and becoming a coach at the PC or doing some backstage production work. There is space for both men, both together and individually in both companies. So I'm invested. I'm interested. I don't necessarily, I don't know. I'm not going to say this, but I was going to say I don't see them sticking around TNA, but also I don't know. They could be very happy with doing what they're doing in TNA and moving forward. We're waiting to find out what that looks like.
Yeah, we'll see where they go. If they go anywhere, they just announced Nick Nemeth and Alex Shelley singles match for the upcoming Impact tapings. So that'll be a good match, I'm sure. So, we'll see if and when Shelley and Saban do leave.
Yeah. And if. Anyway, hey, remember on Monday when I said to you, hey, Mama Wayne versus Mama Rhodes, who would win in a fight? And we very quickly decided Mama Wayne would win. I think we're wrong. I think we're wrong. I think Cody proved us wrong. That promo on Monday, he did. Said his mom jumped a guy at a Willie Nelson concert with a gun.
Yeah. Well,
Mama Wayne ain't doing that.
But does Mama Wayne need the weapon though? We talking just straight up like, throwing hands?
Listen, you bring a gun to a fight, you winning. Let's say Mama Wayne gets
How old was Mama Rhodes then compared to how old she is now? Like when did she jump this person?
Oh, let's see. Let's see. How old is what's her name? Michelle says
Rubio, right?
Rubio, thank you. Yes, Rubio.
Rubio.
Okay. Michelle Rubio. Who is she? I don't want that. Why doesn't she have a Wikipedia page? Is she not important enough?
I mean, no offense, probably not.
Probably not. That's true. Anyway, let's say she's in her 60s.
No friggin' way.
70s, maybe her 70s.
Yeah, 70s is more likely.
Oh, I forgot about Dustin. This time I forgot about the other son. So yeah, maybe in her 70s.
Yeah. There ain't no way in her 60s. Sorry.
That's fair. But anyway, I think Mama Rhodes might actually win. She'll bring the gun to a knife fight.
Mama Wayne's got too much youth on her side.
Does she? I mean, I know she's clearly younger, but like, I don't know. I know people who are in their 30s and 40s who are lazy AF and don't get off the couch all day.
She shows up to the tapings all the time. You can't really say that when there's like visual proof that she's not lazy. She goes to the taping.
She might show up to the tapings and go lie down on the couch until it's her time.
And she's conserving her energy, so good on her.
It's true.
She still goes out there. Still goes out there and performs.
Mama Rhodes, though, jumped a guy with a gun.
All right. Years ago. Great.
Got a message from the anonymous IGW general manager saying, "Stop calling me out. Get off the couch, lazy jerks."
Be nice to my wife.
Don't. What are you doing? Also, Mama Wayne really is like 6'2". It's true.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see her tonight.
Got the reach advantage and everything. You're gonna see who? Mama Wayne?
Yeah, I'm gonna be at Dynamite tonight.
Oh, are you?
Yes, it's in Toronto.
Oh,
I've
so?
had my media tickets for at least a week.
Oh, I don't remember this.
I'll be there. Other people will be there.
Well, allegedly.
Allegedly, 6,000 something people will be there. Mercedes
Sold out.
Moné, supposedly there.
It's a shame that they shrunk the arena to where 6,000's a sellout.
Yeah, that's true. That's very strange.
Like,
Pretty sure that did they just lob off the second half of the Coca-Cola Coliseum?
it's crazy that like the Maple Leafs, when they put like 16,000 in there, how just over capacity they are. That must be like a fire hazard, right?
It's a different venue.
Don't ruin the bit, Joel.
Yeah, but it's a different venue.
Don't ruin it.
No, but like the Marlies play there, and they do about 10,000.
Well, then
Then
that's still a fire hazard.
Yeah, no. Your point can still stand. You just have to use the proper team.
No,
Oh, okay.
the Maple Leafs aren't that important.
That is accurate. That I can agree with you on. I mean, the Sens lost last night too, so who am I kidding?
Yeah, they're not important either.
They're not. How did the Ducks do?
You know who didn't lose last night? Joel Pearl. Do not put out there more misinformation like you did on Friday's show. The 2022 Stanley Cup champion Colorado Avalanche did not lose last night to the St. Louis Blues. They won 4-3. Mikko Rantanen hat trick.
Did you rub it in our pal Sherry Delaware's face?
No, I'm not. You know, I'm not that fan because like I don't like it when people do that to me. So like I'm not going to do it to my friends either. I'll celebrate wins as I celebrate wins that have to do with my team. I'll be happy for my team, but I'm not going to downplay another fan base or other fans when my team wins.
I appreciate that. The Leafs lost, the Sens lost, the Ducks lost 4-0 to the Wild, so you know they're just doing great. Look at that. Kings won. Wow. Golden Knights are on a skid. Man, here we are.
That's unfortunate.
No one good is winning these days. No one. Anyway, yeah, Dynamite is in Toronto tonight. We'll do a preview later on.
Allegedly.
How's your voice?
I mean, it's good. Even when it's bad, I still, got to give the people what they want.
So this is interesting. Scott George saying they need to run a show at Maple Leaf Gardens. Maple Leaf Gardens is now called the Mattamy Event Center.
Huh?
And it's called the Mattamy Event Center. They redid everything. It's where the former Ryerson team used to play. Now they're called Toronto Metropolitan University because the person named after the Ryerson University turned out to be just not such a great person in the history of Canada. Oh, he owns some people he shouldn't have owned. So anyway, the long and the short of it is they changed it to Toronto Metropolitan University. So TMU is now where the arena is, and that used to be the old Maple Leaf Gardens, and now that's known as the Mattamy Center because Mattamy Homes is the company that has the naming rights. Anyway, that venue holds about 7,500, maybe 8,000, and I don't think you can do pyro that well. So I don't know if AEW is going to run there. I think TNA should run there. And also, fun fact, Ring of Honor ran there in 2019 during SummerSlam weekend, and not a lot of people showed up. Remember 2019 Ring of Honor?
2019 Ring of Honor?
Like summer 2019 Ring of Honor. We're past MSG.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought the promotion died at Madison Square Garden.
So did lots of people. Kim Graves had a super chat saying y'all didn't run me off. Well, I'm glad you're still here. Please never leave us. We'd be very lonely. Oh,
Louis actually correct. If it wasn't the first part, it's definitely the hockey talk.
Just listen to us at 2x speed when you can. It's the best. Anyway, do you want
those ROH crowds in 2019 were
baffling? It's funny because my friends actually present to me. It was my bachelor party weekend. They came in for SummerSlam and for other wrestling shows. And then they were like, well, you have the choice on the Friday night. What do you want to do? You want to go to the Ring of Honor show or do you want to go to Iron Maiden? And I was like, go to Iron Maiden. And even for like 2 seconds, I was like, maybe we'll go to Ring of Honor. And I was like, no. Let's go to Iron Maiden. Great choice. Had a great time at Iron Maiden. Made the rest of the weekend a lot easier because
why do your friends hate Wednesday.
You? What do you mean?
Those were your choices?
Well, there was nothing else going on in the city. It was either wrestling or Iron Maiden, and Iron
You
Maiden
could have just
ruled.
like hung out and like had a nice dinner.
We did. We actually we did the next dinner the next night before Takeover. We went to a Brazilian steakhouse.
Okay. Iron Maiden, fine, I guess. I don't know. I don't listen to them. But like, why would they even present Ring of Honor?
Because they know that I was dealing with a lot of wrestling that weekend.
You should have.
It literally had started the Wednesday.
You
I
should
was
have
at,
chosen new friends.
yeah, that's true. The one show I did not go to was the OWE did a show at like 3 p.m. on a Wednesday. I was not there.
What's OWE?
You remember? Do you remember? You don't. Ooh, you don't remember OWE?
I mean, I probably do.
That was the Chinese promotion. That
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I do remember.
So they ran a show, and I was not there for that. But Progress ran, WXW ran, Smash, of course, is local, so they ran. I saw a lot of Walter that weekend. I saw him beat the shit out of, who was it? Oh my god, it was a Japanese legend that I'm just forgetting the name. But anyway, I watched. Well, it wasn't Japanese death match legend. It was just Japanese legend. Anyway, someone will look up the cage match notes. There were a bunch of shows that I saw. A lot of Daniel Garcia, a lot of just top tier talent. Shotzi was there, top tier talent. Love her. There was the Summit, which was probably my favorite event from that weekend. It was the all women's card. That was what we did on Saturday morning. So that was good. That was a good weekend. Anyway, Ring of Honor, they ran the Mattamy Center, which is now the formerly Maple Leaf Gardens.
Great story.
It's a small venue. That's the point.
Well, Edge wants to wrestle there.
Does he? Did he say that?
Yeah, he said he wanted to. He said he wanted his last match there.
Did he say that to Jay Onrights this week?
No, he said this a while ago. Yeah.
Don't know why he would want that. I mean, other than the nostalgia, but I don't know why he would want to work that building.
That's all these people care about is the nostalgia, Joel. That's all.
That's true. Chris Jericho is going to be Lionheart this week.
Always wrestling. Hook tonight.
You bet. And it's going to be the second time Dynamite comes to Toronto and we don't get Judas. Thank you, Tony Khan. I'm a fan now.
I mean, maybe.
Rampage is also being not just taped, but it's live afterwards. Yeah. So in other words, the odds of Judas being played later in the night have also significantly gone down. So like we're all winning tonight.
Oh shit, that's right. Rampage is live tonight. Oh, 3 hours of wrestling. I already did that once this week.
Believe me, I did too. And I'm not looking. I did 4 hours on Saturday. And then Sunday I was at Uno's thing. It's gonna be a busy night.
Yeah, I actually don't mind that because then it's only 2 hours on Friday, and then Saturday there's no collision, which collision's been good. But I've said in my perfect world, wrestling just runs one day. You put all the damn shows on one day. Start them at 8 a.m, finish them out at night, and then the rest of the days we all can just sleep. That's what I want.
I have nothing but respect for those who are doing live coverage. The people who have to write articles and do the aggregation. I don't have to. I've started, moving my watching based on need because I know I do this show. I have to be up on it. For example, SmackDown from Friday.
Lie.
I can, but I choose not to because I'm a professional something or other. Jeremy Lambert. Anyway, so I watched.
We spent the first 15 minutes of the show talking about hand jobs. This is the least professional show in the world.
Correction, you spent the first 15 minutes while I took a phone call. SmackDown. I watched it on Sunday because busy Friday and a busy Saturday. So, you make do. And also I was able to watch SmackDown in like half the time. That's really what I'm getting at. Wrestling is a lot better when you can kind of, jump around and fast forward.
Jump around.
Yeah, exactly. And so don't this music make you want to jump? And then Raw last night, I watched it in like an hour and a half.
So what you're saying, Joel, is when it comes to your wrestling live, sometimes you pack it up, pack it in.
Go ahead. I'll let you begin.
Battle me. That's a sin. Top dollar, you coward.
Here we go. I'm here for it. Anyway, let's talk about Cody Rhodes. You want to talk about Cody Rhodes?
Not really.
He's swearing. He's Danhausen was like, no swearing in a memo. And then you had all of the other superstars just being like, who was this guy? And Cody was like, no, it's fine. I got this. I'm going to swear. And he did. Promo was fine, I thought.
Okay.
I know you and Jensen are going to do 2 hours on this promo alone tomorrow. I know that. But this is probably the first time that we've seen Cody get really amped up and actually get angry, wearing his black suit with a red tie, going full on emo, angry Cody boy, wearing his
Rock's funeral. I respected the suit, honestly.
That's true. He's usually pretty well dressed when he's not doing stump speeches for his presidential campaign. He's got something going on. You got Pharaoh wearing Rock as a cat.
So one of the 12 kids came in while we were watching the Monday Night Raw during Cody's promo. And the kid was like, "Who is that?" And we're like, "That's old American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes." And the kid was like, "He reminds me of Joe Biden." And I was like, "That's pretty accurate." I guess it was the neck tattoo.
Yeah, that's usually what would happen. Yeah, that's right. No. Anyway, I enjoyed the promo. I thought it was well done. I didn't need the Paul Heyman interaction. But I do like that Cody Rhodes got heated. I do like that Cody Rhodes came out here and basically refuted The Rock and also dropped a few swears of his own. And he just made himself he made this a little bit more important. And this is the thing. Going back to Monday, we talked about swearing in promos and, is there heat on The Rock for wanting to swear in a promo? Well, no. Here's the thing. Swearing in a promo works when you're really trying to turn up the heat a little bit. Swearing in every promo doesn't do it for me. Swearing is impactful. You got to use it tastefully. Just going on socials and dropping F-bombs for the sake of it, that's not as fun. It's not as useful. It's not effective. What Cody did, I thought that was more effective, especially when he said The Rock has LDE.
This is where Cody was cowardly.
Oh, God, the Superman hair. Let's go.
He didn't come back with the dyed hair. He should have come out with the dyed hair, the ode to Superman that no one understood.
Yeah,
but it ruled at the time.
He had to do an interview 2 years later where he finally told everyone this was a Superman thing. And everyone was like, huh? What thing? And they're like, when I came out with the black hair. And he's like, oh, cool.
He called The Rock a succubus, which he called Chris Jericho years ago. He called The Rock a whiny bitch, which popped me. Always a fan of people. This is why Natalia is my favorite wrestler. Anytime you just drop a bitch on them, all for it.
Who did that recently that was so like out of left field? Oh, it was Chris Sabin. He literally walked up to Ali and was like, "I'm Chris Sabin, bitch," and just walked off.
It's good. It's good stuff.
The most pointless, effective use ever of that word.
Called The Rock a whiny bitch. It was fine. I don't know. Maybe I'm.
You're desensitized to the promo. Maybe you're just done with this whole thing.
No. Like it was a good promo. Like I'm already excited for the match. They don't need to. That's the thing is like I'm very easily entertained. So like you don't need to sell me on these matches and stuff. I can recognize a good promo. I can recognize that Cody did a very good promo and got some of the, I don't want to say coolness factor, but some of his heat back against The Rock. I wish Seth would have done a little bit more of the same. Like that was what more irritated me is, Seth is still doing the stuff with Drew and everything. I needed Seth to fire back a little bit more to Rock than he did.
What's interesting? Sorry, go finish your thought.
Nah, that's basically it. And like Seth is still, kind of pulled in different directions, which is part of the story. I get that. But I still wanted Seth to fire off a little bit more at The Rock. Like Cody, I know where he stands in all of this. And for Cody, Rock's going at him a little bit more personal than he is Seth. He's just making fun of Seth for like being a clown and everything. But he's talking about Cody's family and stuff. So Cody's got more ammo to fire back. It was a good promo. I can't say anything bad about it. Yeah, the Heyman stuff, I probably could have been like, I all right, sure. But Heyman had to make his point of like, there's going to be no bloodline on SmackDown, and maybe there will be bloodline because Heyman's a liar and Roman might just be there. Oh yeah, but I could have maybe the Heyman stuff's like, maybe early on that could have waited on that one, but still good. The Cody part of it of its own was good.
With Seth, I'm of two mindsets. I liked the Seth promo because it continued what was going on with Drew, and that's a Raw program because it's a Raw World Title. On the other hand, I agree with you that he's got to get something back on Rock because the Rock's just been tearing him apart on the microphone week after week. He's got to get some heat back, but I don't think he's going to do that until he goes face to face with the Rock again, and that's probably going to be. I know April 1st they're now saying the Rock's going to be on TV. That's 2 weeks.
Brooklyn.
So of course the Rock's going to be there, and he's going to be a babyface because it's Brooklyn. And all New Yorkers love the Rock, but I had to applaud the fact that Seth Rollins is not carrying, but he is a part of 2 major stories going into WrestleMania, and he has to balance both of those stories. There is a time and a place, and you and I have sat here on other weeks and said he's got to heat up what he's doing with Drew, because otherwise it's just Drew talking, and Seth being like, no, I got to work on the bloodline stuff. This is now the time where they're going and they're actually interacting in the ring and having those promos that actually mean something going into the match for Seth versus Drew. That needed to happen. That's why I liked the Seth promo. I like the interaction because those two needed to put heat on something that already has heat because of the title and because of Drew's character, but they haven't really had Seth go out here and say, I've been doing this for 20 years. I do this. I'm a spotlight junkie. Yeah, but I do this because I'm a champion and I deserve this, and I deserve to beat you and you deserve nothing. And I like that. I think that works in the context of what Drew McIntyre's entire persona has been. He wants that title. He might get it, but Seth's not ready to lay down just yet. That works for me.
Okay. I like the Seth and Drew stuff. I said that Drew his focus should be on Seth, and Seth is going to stretch himself too thin. I think that's how he loses the title. I just think Seth just comes across as so to the side of this story that's main eventing night 1 of WrestleMania. And like, fine, yes. I understand they did a pivot because I don't think this was the plan. So this is how they got Seth involved in it. But I do think Seth has got to fire back at The Rock a little bit. And it's not really happening.
I wouldn't be surprised if you have CM Punk on Raw next week. His focus is Drew, and then Seth, his focus becomes The Rock, and they kind of just, again, move away from one story to move to the other. It's Seth is at the jumping into 2 different scenes. And that's always the toughest part, is how do you make both equally important when clearly the most important one is the story with Cody. And Seth is just a part of it. I agree with you. He's a victim of rejigging everything and making everything have to work going into Cody's whole WrestleMania story.
I think they should, by choice, put the focus on Seth and Bloodline and not have as much focus on Drew and Seth. And I know that might seem like a weird choice, but again, the story I'm playing out is Seth isn't focused on the World Heavyweight title. And Drew is correct about that, because Drew's whole thing is he's right? You might not like how he goes about it, but he's right. And so Drew is saying, you are not focused on this. You are too focused on Bloodline. And because of that, I'm going to beat you. And Seth, because he's beaten Drew twice, in his head, he's thinking, I don't need to be as focused on Drew. I've beaten him twice. The Bloodline, they've been running WWE for 3 years. The Rock comes in here and thinks he's just going to take everything and he's going to abolish my title. I would want the focus to be more on that. And then Drew, when he beats Seth, is once again proven correct. And once again, tells everybody, see, I've been right all along. I was right about this. I was right about Seth stretching himself too thin. I was right about Seth not being focused, and he screwed up. He thought he could just overlook me because he'd beaten me twice. He thought the bloodline was more important, and what happened to him? Now he's got no title. He's a broken man, and he can cry to his wife and kids. That's the story I would have gone with. Instead, they're trying to like balance it a little bit, but I don't think they're doing the best job of it. And so, in that sense, it does feel unbalanced.
I still feel like there is a lot left in the Rock and Seth Rollins story because the Rock continues to say, I'm going to take that title from you. Nobody, and that's the thing. Rock says he's going to do it. And what
Yeah.
does that mean? Someone has to eventually say, what the hell does that mean? Because you can't just bring it up and then ignore, I'm going to take your title. How are you going to make the title disappear? Are you going to get involved in the night 2 match? Because there's no bloodline involvement in the first, like how do we get to that point where Seth and The Rock have whatever issue they have over the World Heavyweight Championship, if any? But there has to be.
This is where I need Seth to fire back on The Rock saying these things. Instead, they're talking about, the spotlight at WrestleMania and Seth being a spotlight junkie and all this stuff, which is, a fair point. I did like Seth's line of like, you're remembered for failing. Like what happened at your manias? Like you wanted an empty warehouse, and then when crowds got back, you failed. Triple Threat last year, you failed. When the spotlight is on, I shine. You fumbled. I ran. I show up. You don't. But I do need Seth to hit back at Rock for being like, I'm going to abolish this title. Like it's no longer existing. Because what happens if Rock and Roman do win at night 1? We have a story that Bloodline can then interfere in the Roman and Rhodes match at night 2 because Bloodline rules. But The Rock's threatening to basically take that title from Seth. And I would think like if winning at night 1, if Rock and Roman win at night 1, that's kind of part of it. It's like, look, we won. We have all the power. Your stupid match at night 2 ain't happening now. It's just a random ass singles match. Your title is done for. It's not important. We have proven that it's not important. I feel like Seth has got to hit back at that, and he's not. And that's where I wish they would lean more into Seth and Bloodline over Seth and Drew, because I think you can tell 2 stories very well in doing that instead of trying to. Drew can still say a lot of the same stuff, by the way. The spotlight junkie stuff, still, again, all that still works. It's like you're so concerned about your WrestleMania night main event. This is all you've wanted. This is all you've talked about. I want a main event WrestleMania. I want a main event WrestleMania. That you inserted yourself into this. You don't have anything to do with this, Seth. This is about Cody and Roman, and then Rock got involved. This isn't about you. It's never been about you. You should be focused on me and this title. But you want this WrestleMania main event so bad. You wanted it so bad that you had to step in front of it. Be like, pick me, put me in this main event. Team with me, Cody, team with me. I'll be your shield. Congratulations, you got your main event. What's going to happen on night 2? What's going to happen after you get this main event spotlight when you got to face me?
What if Seth wins? Then I guess
He
Damian
beats
Priest.
Drew?
Yeah, if he beats Drew, I guess Damian Priest comes out.
That would suck.
I have a feeling but I wouldn't be surprised if they do that with a Drew victory. I don't know.
Just don't.
I think
don't
Drew,
overcomplicate this.
I-
Just put the damn title on Drew.
Don't get me wrong. I'm a fan of having Drew win the title and having him have that moment where he's like, I did it, and the fans are booing, and he's like, why are you booing me? I was right. I did this. On the other hand, Drew was also part of this bloodline story as well, and there is space for that to kind of interact and come into play leading into WrestleMania. I'm not saying getting directly involved in the match, but I'm saying there is room for some sort of Bloodline involvement in the story leading into the World Heavyweight title match. The Rock takes the title, throws it in the trash. Hacksaw Jim Duggan's it, and Solo Sikoa just fishes it out. Hi-oh. Anyway, I don't think it's going to be that. I wouldn't be surprised if The Rock costs Seth Rollins the title, or if The Rock plays into beating up Seth Rollins so bad that Seth eats the pin on night 1, but then he's going to eat the pin on night 2. This is the one thing about having both heavyweight championship matches on night 2. It's that it makes whoever loses night 1 look weaker, which means Cody has to eat the pin. Because if Seth's going to drop the title and he drops 2 falls in a row, then Seth just has a fall from grace because he hasn't wrestled since the day 1 match. So it's a weird conundrum they're in.
Is it?
Yeah, it feels that way because it is how you book them, but it's also Seth losing is one thing. Seth losing twice in 2 nights I
don't think that's happening though.
Okay, but let's say it does. Let's say Seth loses, he eats the pinfall night 1, and then he loses the title in night 2.
Okay.
And then Seth just doesn't look very strong to me.
Well, yeah, he wouldn't. But I don't think that's happening.
Okay. You think Cody's going to eat the pin on night 1?
I've worked myself into a shoot that Rock loses night 1 and Roman beats Cody night 2. And then you set up Rock and Roman for Mania 41.
Why do you keep doing this to yourself?
Because it's funny. And there's also a story there. I've laid out the story. I've laid out the story beats of this. You tell a story on that. I think Rock can lose night 1 and then Cody can win night 2. I think Cody can really come out of this the big conquering hero. He can pin Rock. Seth can pin Rock night 1. And then Cody can win night 2. Seth can lose night 2. I don't think Roman can lose night 1. He can obviously lose night 2. I think Cody can lose night 1. And then it's like, oh boy, how is Cody going to respond night 2? Now Bloodline can interfere. And then Cody overcomes the odds and wins night 2. I think you can do that. Seth is the one that makes the least sense to lose night 1, unless they really are trying to be like, unless Seth is winning night 2, but I think that's a bad choice. And I don't think they're going to just completely undercut Seth of, hey, let's lose night 1 and lose night 2.
Did you freeze or are you just thinking?
No, I'm done.
Oh, okay. You kind of just like your sentence didn't end on a lower inflection. It just kind of stopped at like a stop sign.
I said that Seth.
No, your words were fine. Your inflection was strange to me.
All right, sorry.
No, that's okay. I hear what you're saying. And again, that's why I don't fully agree with your way of booking it. I still feel like Cody then eats the pin night 1. He wins night 2. Seth won night 1 effectively lost night 1 and loses night 2, but he only takes a pinfall twice. And you can have the story play out that The Rock beat up Seth so bad in night 1 that it leads to Drew winning night 2. And then again, I'm still like, you got that stupid briefcase.
The briefcase, people are so tied to this. So Professor's asking when's like, okay, he's got until Money in the Bank of this year, which is July.
And we've talked about how funny it would be if he walks into the Money in the Bank pay-per-view and everyone's like, got to cash in tonight. That you got no other choice. And he's just like, or do I? And everyone's like, no, you have to cash in tonight. Otherwise it's null and void. And he's like, oh shit, I guess you're right. And then he cashes in, or he doesn't. He forgets. Forgetting would be even better.
I don't think he's going to forget, but
R-Truth the briefcase, he forgets to cash in.
I'm not married to the idea that he's got to cash in at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I could do the night.
Or if he does, he fails.
You just did a failure cash in. That's the only problem.
Well, maybe they're trying to tell you that winning Money in the Bank isn't that guarantee like you thought it was. They should have like 4 straight years of failures, and then finally someone comes along and is like, I'm going to break the curse.
Could you imagine? They just do a whole bunch of failure Money in the Banks.
Yeah, I think they should.
No woman has failed yet, right? At the cash in?
I don't think so.
That's gonna happen soon. Because I think everyone was trying to book the last winner as like she's gonna lose. It was Io Sky. Everyone was like, oh yeah, Io's not gonna win. And then it turned out that she very much was gonna win. Anyway, I just like the idea of the Money in the Bank holder being there. And I agree with you, doesn't need to be at WrestleMania, but he's got to be there. And he hasn't been present for the last little while. Hasn't been part of his story. If he loses the titles, the tag titles at WrestleMania, maybe the night after WrestleMania is when he shows up. Because it feels like that tag title match is going to be on the first night.
Yeah, probably.
And then just have him be a factor of it. Anyway. No, maybe I'm wrong. Who knows?
He's had the thing. It just doesn't feel like it's... They haven't done enough to heat him up. I think Drew should just walk out of WrestleMania the champion. That's it. Priest shouldn't cash in and win. I don't think Seth should beat Drew and then Priest cash in. Drew should just walk out of WrestleMania the champion.
I'm fine with that. And then maybe start a program the next night with that. I don't know. I do like that. I'm kind of wondering what the hell they can do with it. And it's not as obvious. And also that things that they used to be obvious under prior regimes are not happening. Remember we sat here on Monday and said Liv Morgan's going to get involved in the last woman standing match?
You said that.
Yeah, you had an inkling it would happen too.
Not
it didn't
true.
happen. Yes, it is. Roll the tape. We don't have anyone to roll the tape. Should you do another 15 minutes on HJ's?
Yeah, we have talked about, Liv Morgan interfering in the last woman standing match aside, booking finishes for certain matches, specifically the Liv Morgan and Becky match a couple weeks ago. There was the possibility that Nia was getting involved. Nope, clean finish. I thought maybe they'd do a double finish with Sami and Gable. Nope, Sami wins.
Gable just coming out like a big old bitch.
Well, he's he saw how well crying worked for Cody, so he's trying that gimmick.
True, but then he decided I'm not going to cry my way in. I'm just going to mental games my way out of dealing with Sami Zayn. Being like, you can't win. You can't beat Gunther. No one can. And then Sami just being like, I can beat him, right? It's interesting. It's not great. I think Gable just needs to fall to the wayside for a bit instead of being the.
Why you want this? Isn't this Gable heel turn? This is what you want.
I want. But this is what I want. But yeah. I also want it to be less of a. I don't know. Maybe it's fine. Maybe it will be fine. But I just kind of don't love him running around being like, you can't beat him. I couldn't beat him, so you can't beat him. It's like, well, a lot of people have beaten you, so that kind of gets thrown out by the wayside, by argument's sake. That's why the Gable thing has got to be a little more. It's got to get a little more impactful. We're only a week in, but now we have to deal with the Alpha Academy stuff because clearly they lost. Kira Tozawa took the pin. Thank you. And then they got down to NXT where they have to win matches to get a shot at Stand and Deliver.
Yeah, they're facing Breaker and Corbin next week, and if they win that, they're in the tag title match at Stand and Deliver.
And that's when Gable should step in and be like, "I'm going to do this because you can't do it yourself." And he's gonna take them to the match and lose the match.
I don't mind Gable creating, if it is setting up a Gable heel turn, I don't mind him creating some type of self-doubt with Sami. I do think that Sami should be like, dude, you kind of just suck anyway. What have you ever accomplished in this company? No offense to Gable. I like Gable. But Sammy's But Sammy's I main evented WrestleMania last year. I won the tag team titles. I've won the Intercontinental title. I took Roman Reigns to the limit. If it wasn't for the Usos, I could be the World Heavyweight Champion. Sammy has some legs to stand on here. Recent legs to stand on. that proves Chad Gable's wrong. I know Gunther is big bad and everything, but Sami should fire back a little bit more on this instead of just like doubting himself. I'd actually like, I know KO's on a different show, but I'd like Jay to give Sami a pep talk about this kind of stuff. I think that would be good.
And we could get there. And I agree with you. Sami does need the pep talk. Sami needs, but so this is the one thing they're playing it as like this balance thing, right? Gunther is full of so much confidence, and he has a right to be confident. Sami, however, is not, because he's only recently started winning again. So people can get into his head a lot easier, and you can't balance out Sami's confidence with what Gunther's is like. You just have to boost it enough so that he can get it over to beat Gunther. And that's where the balance is at play. Right now, we're just at the beginning of this with Gunther and Sami's interaction. Now we have to get them to the point where Sami's confidence is building. Someone's going to help build that. I like the idea of doing Jay to the point where Sami can finally get it done, win the big one, and beat Gunther at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental Championship. And that's
maybe he doesn't beat Gunther.
Maybe he doesn't. That's also a possibility that you can play with. I don't know where you go with Sami, but I like the idea of Sami, 2 WrestleManias in a row, maybe even 3, walking out with a championship and having major moments.
Oh, it's definitely 2. Why would it be 3?
2. I don't know. Oh, 3 was Knoxville.
Greatest match of all time.
Exactly. Having just a string of incredible matches on different planes, an incredible feature celeb match, an incredible tag team main event, emotional match with the finish, and then the Gunther build where he beats the guy who's been the champion for 666 days by that point. That's nothing to sneeze at, as they say. And I would like to see someone kind of point that out to Sami and be like, look what you've done. You did this. And it could be Jay, because Jay was one of the people he beat.
Yeah, I think Jay giving him that pep talk makes a lot of sense. Good job, Jeremy. Good booking right there.
Let's hit a couple of super chats. Kim Graves, I didn't expect to explain LDS to Bo. It's her son. LDS being little dick syndrome, by the way. Poor Rocky. Went from having a 39-inch holy Moses, to having a little dick syndrome.
Do you know why he calls his dick Moses, Joel?
Because it parts the Red Seas.
Nah.
Will Chisholm sent a super chat saying, Cody should have said, when the bell rings, your body's going to fall apart again like Black Adam.
That I did enjoy. Like, I was sort of downplaying Cody's promo, but like, it was really good. And when he was talking about like, you're going to show up at WrestleMania, you're going to actually be the great one, or you're just going to, come in and do your shtick and then cry about things because you didn't get your way.
I hope he does an evil Moana entrance.
Rock's entrance at Mania is probably going to be long.
Do you think the show is going to be, everyone's like, 7 matches each night, that's doable. It's like, no, you don't understand who is on the card. Like, you get to that Roman Reigns and The Rock entrance alone, that's 30 minutes right there, baby. 15 each.
I know they won't do this. I hope Seth on Mania Night 1 just tries to blow up The Rock. Just blow him up and just see what
that would be fantastic. Just running him around the ring, just making him oh my god.
Rock's gonna pull a Michaels. Remember when Michaels against Cena and Cena's working like 100 miles per hour and Michaels just corners him and slaps the shit out of him and is like, slow the fuck down. That's what Rock should do.
Oh, I love it.
Seth is going 100 miles an hour and Rock just finally grabs a headlock. He's like, slow the fuck down, bitch.
Grabs a microphone, does the whole 99 Rock run. Oh. Tackle, drop down, leapfrog, get it again.
Shawn Michaels ruled for that, by the way. It was Cena trying to work his John Cena pace, and Shawn's like, we ain't got to do all that, man. Like, it's the main event. Like, we're good. We can grab a hold. We can work a nice breeze and then get into a higher gear. You know, that's Rock's philosophy anyway. Rock was never like, hey, let's work like we're on a highway here. Like Rock was always let's create the moments, let's let the tension build, let's let the crowd rise and everything. So Rock's gonna definitely be that way at 80 years old.
Oh, absolutely.
This Mania match.
We got a very nice super chat from Bridget Hulat. Thank you very much, Bridget. This because y'all are awesome. And I'm celebrating 30.
Thanks, Bridget.
Thank you for that.
And congratulations.
Celebrating 33 years of marriage on Saturday. Thanks for making my mornings fun. Well, thank you for listening to us and being part of this whole thing because we are better than busted open. Tell them. I saw Thunder Rosa on Sunday. You know how close I was to walking up to her and saying, hey, you want to work on our show instead? You want to do the Thunder Hour on In the Weeds? You want
Probably
to do
not very close.
In the Thunder?
Probably not very close at all to doing that.
She was standing there. I was busy.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody else.
Yeah.
I tried.
They had LA Knight on their show today.
Really? Why can't we get WWE superstars?
Well, what can you do?
Maybe I'll do some finessing tonight at Dynamite.
Good luck.
That's true. Wait a minute. They're making Yo Mama fat jokes? What? We would do that. Maybe we aren't better than Busted Open.
I mean, we spent 15 minutes on
you spent 15 minutes.
Well, you're part of this show.
Phone. I was on the phone. Yeah, we'll call it the Thunderdome. Anyway, 33 years of marriage is nothing to sneeze at. Congratulations, Bridget. That's fantastic. Oh my goodness. I hope to get to that point. That'd be great.
As someone who loves love, I love that you guys made it 33 years. Congratulations.
That's right. Love it. Let's move on. Is there anything else from Raw that we really need to touch on? Everyone was talking about that one shot. Speaking of Sami coming from the back, it goes into the Awesome Truth segment, and then Awesome Truth come out, and it's all one continuous 2-minute shot, and everyone's like, "The cinema."
People are mad about the Usos because that story is all over the place.
Oh, because of the who left when?
Yeah.
Who's on first?
I mean, I get it. Like they're trying to basically ignore the first third of the Bloodline story and be like, "Hey, SummerSlam, this is when it really started with us." So I get it. I understand why people would be upset about that.
Yeah, I get it. Listen, in terms of the long-term stuff, I fully understand where they're coming from. That being said, I don't care.
Jimmy turning on Jay never made sense in the first place.
Exactly. It just sucked.
Yeah, it never made sense in the first place why they did that. And then it never made sense that a lot of it didn't make sense.
Listen, I think there's one thing we can all agree on when it comes to the Uso discourse. Keep Rikishi away.
Nah, let Rikishi come out. Who cares?
Every friggin' day, there's a Rikishi article that comes out from some news outlet saying Rikishi wants it, probably saying Rikishi wants to be part of the Bloodline feud. Rikishi thinks he should be the special referee. Rikishi thinks his sons, and I'm like, stop talking to Rikishi. Stop talking to the old man who wants payday. Let his son set him up for retirement. They're getting paid.
Bless him. I did like Cody came out and he helped Jay. By the way,
they're pals.
Yeah.
Cody, tag titles together.
Cody got him on Raw. You know?
Yeah.
Jay was ready to quit the business. He's ready to take a ball and go home. And Cody was like, you can't do that, Oos.
No deuces, Ooses.
What is the purpose of Solo Sikoa?
Handsome.
Like, does he have an actual like reason?
Handsome.
He just comes out there. Remember when the Rock popped himself because he's like Solo laughing, cackling, and then Solo like kind of smiled, and Rock's like, "Hey, yeah, you like that one? You liked it, yeah." Rock just popped himself.
That's what it is. That's what Solo's there for. Solo is there to be broken, and when he does, everyone notices. That's what he's there for. Solo is the break guy. Hopefully he break dances, and hopefully he breaks chairs and tables, and maybe later on he can break a sweat and actually have a match.
It kind of sucks that he beat Cena, he ran him off, and then like they just didn't go anywhere with it. Like, I'm not an Austin Theory person. Made that very clear. Don't think he should have beaten Cena. But they didn't exactly give Austin Theory the greatest follow-up after he beat Cena. I don't think Theory was ever ready for a great follow-up, mind you. But Solo beat Cena, and again, like, they don't really give him a great follow-up. And I do think Solo was at least a little bit more ready because he's tied to Roman. And so you can do things with that. I would have been cool if Solo went to NXT, just beat Ilya, just do something.
He's got to be Boa again.
People would have been mad about that, but just do something with the dude. Instead, he doesn't wrestle. When he does wrestle, he just loses. Before, he wouldn't lose ever. Now it's like, oh, yeah.
Well, what if he wins the Intercontinental or US title?
When?
After WrestleMania.
That's way too, like...
No, it's not. WrestleMania is it's in like 3 weeks.
But it's been 5 months since he beat John Cena.
Oh, yeah, no, I believe me. If you're trying to just get him to capitalize on the win that he has over John Cena, sorry, that ship has definitely sailed.
Yeah.
We can both agree fully on that one.
Yeah, so like just a little disappointing that they clearly, or whatever plan they did have for Solo. Remember when Roman like dubbed him the tribal heir and everything?
Yeah.
And there was that big cinematic shot of like Solo holding the Ulafala, and Roman was like, that is mine.
Maybe this all ends with Solo hitting Roman Reigns with a car. I did it for The Rock.
I just thought of this when, I guess I've been thinking about it for a little while, but like,
you got to stop thinking. It's not good for you.
Yeah, agreed. But like when Solo was just there as a background guy as the Usos were in the ring, and then Cody comes out in his freaking suit and loafers and just does a Cody cutter to Solo. It's like, dude, you just got beat up by a dude in loafers. Like, you gotta...
They even put over the fact that he was in a suit.
Like, you gotta retire, honestly. You can't show your face for a little while.
Well, yeah. you gotta take it easy. Maybe lay low.
Like, dude, you can't beat up the dude in a suit and loafers.
Well, it's a comfortable suit and comfortable shoes.
You gotta disappear. That's what Roman should be mad about. He cares about the rest of this stuff. He should be mad at Solo for
being a big old loser,
being pointless.
You over there, what do you do? And then Solo just stares at him, and Roman's like, never mind. And you, that's what he does. He just looks intimidating until the bell rings. Will Chisholm sent a super chat saying, is it a social media thing? Because at the shows, the fans are hot for the Uso match, but social media is not. And it's funny because like the Usos have been playing in interviews wanting to do this match, but it has been mostly an on-TV presentation. Jey Uso being like, we want a match was kind of the tip off, at least to you, of having a match Jey versus Jimmy at WrestleMania.
Yeah, when Jay said, like, we want to do this at Mania, they said, by the way, they said this at Money in the Bank when they were still teaming, and Jay was a day away from pinning Roman Reigns. They mentioned, like, yeah, if we ever did a match, we want it to be at WrestleMania. And then they did Money in the Bank. And then when they did the turn at SummerSlam, that was to me like, oh, they're going to hold off on this until Mania. And they did. And like, it took a while to get there, obviously. Like, the crowd has been hot for it because Jay's over. Jimmy's still attached to Bloodline. I think online people aren't as thrilled with it because the storytelling has been a little bit disjointed. And, it's been going on for a while. with the Uso involvement. And yeah, they've basically just cut out the first third of everything they've done. But the majority of fans, I'm not calling anybody out here, but like they don't really care about that. Honestly, they don't. They're reacting to what's going on in the moment, and in the moment, they like the lines that they're hitting each other with. The yeet, slap the yeet out of you, taking credit. I'm still the big brother. I'm gonna son you like I've done my entire life. Like they enjoy that stuff, and I don't blame them. The Usos do really good promos as far as like their delivery and their cadence, that like even if what they're saying isn't exactly cohesive for what's completely happened to the story, people are like, shit, they know what they're talking about. They there's a lot of conviction in their words, and that draws people in.
What's really funny to me is that the crowd is going to love the spot they do, where the slap spot, like what Danielson and Shibata did, the hit for hit spot.
Yeah,
they're going to do that, and the crowd's just going to go yeet. No yeet.
Oh yeah,
yeet.
they're
gonna eat that up, and I'm that's gonna happen, and that's fine. Again, sometimes the audience interaction is just perfect, and that's what the crowd loves this story, because it's just two brothers talking shit. They're gonna fight. At the end of the day, that's all it is. And how many people have ever wanted to fight their siblings?
People are gonna love the match. I'm looking forward to the match. Probably be good. Not super kicks. That'll happen.
You might call it a super kick party.
Maybe. But I'm looking forward to it. Again, I get the disjointed storytelling and people not being thrilled with that. I can recognize that, but the crowd's with it. The crowd is with it for these two, and I assume they're going to be with it for the actual match at WrestleMania as well.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I'm again looking forward to that, just like you are. Let's move along. I made a reference on the not the thumbnail, but in the description about wrestler pay.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to tell you a very hot take, Jeremy Lambert.
Okay.
Do you want to know my opinion about wrestling pay?
I assume you're going to just be like, let them get all the money that they want.
No, I don't want them to get all the money that they want. Pay them fairly. Look at that. Like, just pay them fairly. Whatever it is, pay them fairly. You know why there's no wrestler union? Because this is still an old school business where people are afraid to talk about how much they can make money. That's fine. They should be making their worth, absolutely. And that's that. And then they build their value based on how they're doing with merchandise, ratings, so on and so forth. I don't care how much people make, as long as their value is met and exceeded. So the next time they get to talk about how much they're worth, they get more money. Let it happen.
Right. That take is lame and boring. Here's a real good take.
Oh, here we go.
WWE is purposely not trying to pay the Will Ospreays, the Kazuchika Okadas, and the Mercedes Monets of the world, because they know Tony Khan, in the words of MJF, is a fucking mark and will shell out all this money for them, and they are bankrupting AEW because Tony is spending $10 million on these wrestlers, and he's never going to see the return on investment. This is all a long-term ploy by WWE to bankrupt AEW. There you go. That's a take right there.
No notes. 100%.
That's a hot take.
That's what it is. My God, you got it. I hope somebody clips this, takes it seriously, and uses it against us somewhere down the road.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. Remember this. This is episode 144 on March 20th, 2024. Jeremy Lambert says WWE is trying to bankrupt AEW by having them sign all their big stars. I feel like that is a conversation that has been had seriously at other points.
I think it probably has.
It really is. I'm pretty sure 2 years ago, that was a point that some people were making.
Yeah. Like I'm with you. I don't care how much these wrestlers make. I think they're all underpaid. How much they make has nothing to do with me. I don't understand why people are Mercedes shouldn't make that much. Why? The fuck do you care how much she makes?
Yeah, why are you pocket watching? Make your own money. I'm
If
for AF, and I
anything,
don't care how much she makes.
if anything, his wrestlers should we should be happy that they're making so much. So now when I everyone should tweet them, be like, hey, can I get $1? And if they say no, we can call them selfish and say that look at them, they're making millions and they won't give me $1. They're just holding all this money themselves. It's so dumb to care how much people who have no bearing on your life make. You want to be mad that the dude in, your division makes more money than you and you think you deserve a raise? Okay, fine. That is bearing on you. How much Mercedes Moné makes has no bearing on your personal life or even maybe your professional life. Yeah, we should just ask all the wrestlers, like, hey, can we get $1? I know you got money. I know you got
Empty
money,
your wallet right
Mercedes.
now. Empty your wallet. Whatever's in there, use it to fund our show.
Yeah, I know you got money, Will Ospreay. You can't loan me $1. Imagine if we got $1 from every wrestler in AEW and WWE. That's it. For one small dollar, you can help fund Mac and Me, AEW and WWE. That's for one small dollar.
In the arms of the
We
so
should do an ad like that to try to help fund Mac and Me. We should do this. We should shoot this.
you pull up Will Ospreay and be like, bruv, I know you've got that money, bruv. Give me all your money. I should do that interview with him. My original plan was that he said he was going to give anyone a cuddle who wants a cuddle. And I was going to propose that Will Ospreay and I cuddle up, do a top-down shot, and it's us cuddling while I do an interview with him.
It's so dumb. And I think a lot of it's disingenuous, the money talk.
Of course it is.
Like, who cares? If they want to pay them that much money, that's their prerogative. If Tony Khan wants to spend that much, that's his right. If WWE wants to not spend that much on them and spend elsewhere, that's their right as well. Who cares? That has nothing to do with you.
Just on top of it, it's like I think you put it very simply and very honestly. If someone that you work with makes more money and you deserve more and you think you deserve more, you go to your boss and you justify it. These people are not your coworkers. These people are not your friends. These people are not people that you work with. Why do you care? Why would you care? If they go and they make the case and they get the money, great. Proud of them. They did their job. They negotiated. Other than that, I'm here to be entertained. I'm here to talk about how we're doing here. I'm not here to talk about how much money you make. Go make it.
Look, we can have a money conversation that isn't just based around how much these people make and whether or not we think that's fair or not, because I think they're all underpaid. I think whatever they're making is probably unfair in the opposite direction, in that they should be making more. You want to have a money conversation, though? Here's a conversation we can have. When you pay somebody like Mercedes this much, when you pay Will Ospreay this much, when you pay Okada this much, one, now they got to justify how much they are making. Because in the next contract, if they're not seeing a return on investment, they might get less. Or if another wrestler's contract comes up, if Chris Jericho, when his contract comes up and he sees Okada making 10 million and he's like, I'm just throwing numbers out there, by the way. Don't take this as gospel. Chris Jericho is maybe making 8 million. He sees Okada's making 10 million. Chris Jericho can point to this rated segment, this merchandise, that merchandise. Now you got to pay Chris Jericho 12 million because you've paid Okada 10 million. Or you don't have to pay Chris Jericho 12 million. You could say, you know what, Chris, thank you for your time. We don't really feel like investing 12 million in you. Go see what you can do elsewhere. And maybe WWE is like, you know what? Chris brought in a lot of great ratings for AEW. We will pay you that 12 million. This is the money conversation you can have of how does it affect upcoming negotiations with people, because there is a return on investment on anybody that is signed. Anybody, not just Mercedes, not just Ospreay, not just Okada. There's a return on investment on anyone that is signed and how much they are bringing back into the company based on what they're paying and what that means for future negotiations for people who might be bringing in just as much or more to the company, but are on a lesser contract because they signed 2 years ago, but they've been elevating in those 2 years. That's a conversation that can be had. But just, I'm mad because Mercedes is making 10 million. That's not a fucking conversation. That's complaints. That's complaining for the sake of complaining that has nothing to do with you.
Listen, we are not the right podcast to have this conversation. There's one on Saturday that's absolutely going to go there. But I will bring up why Solable's point. Did anyone blink an eye when it came out that she got a lot?
Yeah, people did.
Yeah, but not to the same degree that everything with Mercedes did.
No.
And I'm going to leave it at that. And I think you all can understand. And who were the people getting angry? Unfortunately, some of them look like you and I on screen right now, but you and I are not the people saying it. We're going to let Saturday, we're going to let Grapsity, they're definitely going to cover this, talk about it. It's not our place. It's not our world to talk about it, but it's very much it's obvious to me at least. And it's very frustrating to watch because Mercedes is good. She deserves the money she makes. Talent who make money deserve money. Whatever that money is, that's up to them. That's up to their value.
People are paid as much as they can get and as much as somebody else sees in their worth. If Tony Khan thinks Mercedes is worth 10 million and he decides to pay her 10 million, then that at that moment is her worth. Is she worth more? Probably. Again, I think all these people are worth more. But she's not worth less. She's not worth 8 million. Her contract explicitly says she's worth at least 10 million. So you're wrong if you're like, she's not worth that much. Well, she's got it in paper that she's worth at least that much. So quit being mad about like, I wouldn't pay Mercedes 10 million. Okay, you ain't running the damn company. Who gives a shit how much you would pay her? I play a lot of, at least I used to back in the day, TEW and stuff. Like,
that's Tony Khan's booking.
Right? Tony Khan loves the TEW.
Loves that TEW.
EWR. Loves it. I'd actually really, no bullshit aside, I'd want Tony Khan on the show for a lot of reasons. Got a lot of questions to ask Tony. But real talk, I would want to just have a conversation about TEW and EWR with Tony Khan. I think it would be fascinating. But I play this game. I spend the shit out of my money in this game, especially if I'm WWE or AEW. What do I care if I'm paying? The contracts in that game aren't great. It's all underpaid stuff. But like, what do I care if I'm paying Mercedes 500, 300,000? Who cares about that? I'm making money hand over fist in that game, just like these wrestling companies are. WWE's making money hand over fist. AEW, I don't know, they're not a profitable company by seemingly all accounts, but Shad, billionaire. Tony, plenty of money. As long as Shad is willing to continue to fund the company, as long as Tony is willing to continue to put equity into the company, it ain't going anywhere. Let them pay as much as they're going to pay on this. It ain't my money. I ain't concerned with it.
Neither am I. But you know what I am concerned about? I said about like a Canadian. Shit. I've been working on my accent. It's not working. Spend too much time around Ottawans. They speak like Canadians. Anyway, Jack Perry. I'm concerned about Jack Perry, Jeremy Lamberts. suspended, buried.
He's not making any money apparently.
Not making any money. AEW's not paying him. Tony Khan is so upset. He's not letting him come back to. I can't.
I don't know how much this is true. Like, I just don't. I don't know how much that is like. I'm there. So here's the setup for everybody.
Go ahead.
Here's the setup for everybody. Real quickly, Hassan says, who says AEW is not profitable as in a private company. This is based on, I'm going a lot on sort of WrestleNomics. Like, they make money, obviously. Like, they make money, but I think on the whole, they still, and this might change with the next TV operating or TV contract, but I think on the whole, they are like losing money.
Yes.
According to what Thurston is reported.
And let's just keep in mind that when we talk about losing money, it's not like they're losing enough to put them out of business. It's not like money's not going anywhere. Again, what's the old saying? You spend money to make money, money in, money out, so on and so forth. They spend money, but they're also making it back in houses and other revenue streams. I think Sean actually hit on this in his Q&A, and I thought this was just the most simple way of explaining it. They can be operating at a $5 profit or a $5 million deficit. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
It comes in. Yes, they are a private company, but like Jeremy was saying, if you look at WrestleNomics, you look at some of the numbers that they get, they're operating at a loss, and that's not a bad thing given how old they are. And also, believe me, the second that they are operating as a profit, you are going to hear about it. You are going to hear, and this is not a dig at Tony Khan. This is not a dig at AEW. You will hear about it because this will be an opportunity for them to celebrate that all of the money that they've put into the company is finally seeing some sort of return on investment. And that is a big thing to put out there for any potential partner. And I'm not talking about investments. I'm talking about anyone who wants to buy into AEW, fan or anyone who wants to purchase advertising, anyone who wants to be in business with them for TV, all that stuff. That will make a difference for a lot of eyes when they say, hey, we make money now. They will absolutely put it out there when they do.
Yeah. So their financials are not, public knowledge. We can only go on the information that Brandon Thurston, who certainly trust, like kind of puts out there. And Tony has, without outright saying that like they're not operating in green right now, has said it. He's big to like how much money they're bringing in as far as like how much revenue they're making, but he's also kind of made it pretty clear that like we're making this much, but we're not exactly operating at a profit. He's kind of, if you listen to enough Tony Khan as I do, you can learn to read between the lines of this stuff. And as Joel said, the moment they are like, yeah, we made $100 million this year or whatever, that's going to be very well known. Right now, he's just saying like our revenue, which is different from profit. Right now, it just says our revenue was this much, but that doesn't take into account their spending on things. So, can you listen to enough Tony? You can read between the lines of this stuff. Anyway,
there is plenty of Tony to listen to.
Yeah, there is.
Anyway, yeah.
All right. So the Jack Perry stuff, I don't know. Meltzer put out there Tony's upset because he got Punk fired, and that's why he's in New Japan and he's suspended. Like, what do you want me to say about this? I don't know if it's true or not. Do I believe someone told this to Dave? Yes. Do I believe multiple people told this to Dave? I don't know. I don't know. I don't. I do believe Dave was told this. Do I believe one person said it and then that Dave didn't really like follow up or like look into things? Yeah, a little bit. His history over the past little bit kind of says that, but I don't know. I don't. All I know is Jack Perry's in New Japan. He's in the greatest stable of all time, House of Torture. And I don't know when he's coming back to AEW. I do know that I think that I think that AEW should maybe acknowledge this a little bit more. Like, I do think that because they are partners with New Japan and Jack Perry was on a New Japan show ripping up the contract. I do think that like there should be a little bit more synergy there, and there's not right now. But like I guess maybe that is the angle, is that AEW won't acknowledge him. I mean, it is in the sense that that's what Jack Perry is saying. Jack Perry is saying like, they won't return my calls, they won't bring me back, but they also don't have the balls to fire me. I know that is the angle that Jack Perry is pushing. But I do think like, because sometimes we're too inside, and Tony like not mentioning him literally ripping up the contract also should maybe do something of acknowledgement there. I like the angle.
What about Shota just tweeting out his clobbering time?
Yeah, like Forbidden Door is coming up in a few months.
And Windy City Riot.
Yeah, Windy City Riot, I think, is going to be the next sort of big step to this. At least it should be. If they don't push it forward at Windy City Riot, then I'm really going to start questioning things. But right now, I like that Jack Perry's over there in New Japan. I enjoy that. He's, again, part of the greatest stable ever in House of Torture. And, we'll see where it goes from there. I do think, by the way, Jack Perry's on the Chicago show, Bargov. He's already been announced. I do think he should come out to Cult of Personality. Imagine
I don't
he comes out to Cult of Personality.
Yeah, there you go. Jeff Valley Jarvis says he should come out to a Punk theme. If not Cult, then he's got to do like This Fire Burns, something that is easily synonymous with CM Punk. That would be fantastic.
This Fire Burns. Okay.
The reason, like the ROH theme,
Misery Cantera.
Yeah, it's like you could do it, but I don't think it's as.
My God, he's using CM Punk's AEW Revolution 2021 theme or 2022, I guess. 2022,
yeah. It's like, and that's the thing. It's like, yeah, that was a moment for a lot of people who got it, but it's like CM Punk is most known for using Cult of Personality.
Yeah.
Right. That's when his biggest.
This Fire Burns, like I kind of get, like people still associate that one with Punk. Yeah, Misery Cantera, like even that whole discourse. I mean, that's what made me the owner of Fightful, but that whole discourse was fucking stupid. So I don't know if we need all of that, but
okay, we'll bring.
He should just do Cult of Personality. Who cares?
And he should call himself CM Perry.
I don't know what that. But
California made Perry a shotgun in the chat. That's what it is.
I do think he should come out to Cult of Personality. Fuck it.
Why Solable? You should go to Resurgence because I have a feeling that will be Mercedes' return to New Japan.
Yeah, that was a year after the injury. I imagine she'll probably wrestle.
And also, the colors of the logo are very much synonymous with Mercedes. It's in California. That's where she is. Like, it seems like it all points to that, to New Japan return. So that's where my brain sits there. If you have the opportunity to go, I would probably recommend it. The Jack Perry stuff, I'll touch on it quickly. In my opinion, with Dave, I agree largely with what you're saying, but here's the issue. We know he's still under contract to AEW. We know he's still there.
He ripped it up.
Stop it. Could Tony Khan be annoyed with Jack over what happened? Sure. Could other people be going to Tony and saying like, well, like Punk could have, if it wasn't going to be Jack, it was going to be somebody else. And that would have been that. There is a larger conversation, I'm sure, that's been had, but I don't see a reason why Tony Khan would be annoyed with him to the point where he just hasn't been in communication with him. I feel like there's been enough communication between Jack Perry and Tony Khan at this point that things are just kind of like, here's how we're going to move forward. And like you said, if things start moving forward at Windy City Riot or going into Forbidden Door, then we know that this whole conversation is moot and it was just part of the storyline, which is great. But like, again, it's when you say this shit, you gotta be ready to stand on it, because this is one thing where you can't stand on this conversation.
I don't I don't know if Tony Khan's annoyed at Jack Perry. Only Tony Khan would know that.
Send him the link to the show. Tell him I'm in Toronto and I want to ask him questions about AEW Dynamite. And
You ask him tonight.
Maybe I will. I'll stand right at the front row by the stage, and I'll be like, Tony, question. He'll be like, this is not a media event. I'll be like, it is now. Tony, question. Tony. I'll get one of those big, like Alex has, Queen of the Rings. She has the big road mic with the big long extension. The Price is Right mic. Tony, and see if that works.
You should ask him to be on this show and see if he will come on this show. But yeah, you should ask him if he's annoyed at Jack Perry. What we need is the TEW, in the locker room morale on the screen. We need to, does it say, what's the relationship? Is Tony Khan annoyed at Jack Perry? Can we meddle in the relationship to try to fix it? That's what we need to know. That's what we need to do.
Either way, somebody make a sign tonight to go to AEW Dynamite saying, Tony, please do In the Weeds on Fightful. Maybe make the differential that we're on Fightful. Yeah. That'd be helpful. I just saw apparently the UFC antitrust case has been put on hold.
Oh,
might be a settlement on the horizon.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not well versed in that. Just pay people.
Well, they're gonna get paid.
That's true.
Yeah.
What else was there? Was there anything else that we need to talk about? Is there something you need to bring up? We already talked about HJ's.
I don't think so. Was there?
Yota Tsuji won the New Japan Cup.
Yeah, good on him. Do you want to answer the question that I was talking about beforehand, Joel?
Yeah, I was kind of confused. Are you going to pick a single question, or are we going to answer multiple questions?
Well, I was going to do a random thing, but if we just get kind of some of these questions, this is in our Discord, by the way, the In the Weeds Discord.
Yes. Well, it's the Fightful Select Discord with an In the Weeds channel.
Yeah, correct. If we just get like kind of quick hitter questions, we can answer multiples. If there's a question out there that maybe is a bigger topic, then maybe we'll only do that one. So a couple of these are just kind of quick hitter. Ryan asked, what's one music album you think people should listen to at least once in their lives? What's your answer, Joel?
No Doubt's Tragic Kingdom.
Wow, I didn't expect you to go there with that.
That was a really big album for me growing up. I was a big No Doubt fan. That's one that I always go to. Yeah.
Okay. Aside from Taylor Swift, 50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying.
Okay. I can see that. You are a big 50 fan.
I do like that album. I was
settled both UFC class action lawsuits for an aggregate amount of $335 million.
Ooh.
This just came from Brandon Thurston. It's a new TKO filing.
Oh, I was looking at this TKO filing and I didn't quite understand it. So I'm glad that Brandon Thurston is.
There's one thing
to explain this shit.
There's one thing Brandon Thurston do is that.
Please explain this to me like I am 5.
Money, please explain. ChatGPT can't do that.
Please explain this to me like I am 5, Brandon.
So, Professor's asking if that's No Doubt's debut album. No, it's not. Their debut album was 2 albums before that. They had a self-titled, and then Beacon Street was the second one. Tragic Kingdom was the third, and that was their breakout. That was the one with Just a Girl and Sunday Morning, and Don't Speak was obviously huge on that one. That was the one that had like the most amount of singles come from it. That's when the Machine pushed them. And then they did Return to Saturn, and it was fine. They kind of like peaked at Tragic Kingdom, in my opinion.
Tragic Kingdom, I do enjoy. That is Don't Speak on it, right? Yeah. I do like the Don't Speak. All right. We had another question from it's from Jester Designs. If you could both do one thing for the rest of your life and money isn't an issue, what would it be? What's your answer, Joel?
Well, I'm doing it now.
This show?
Well, I like doing this show. I like doing this, the banter. I love doing conversational stuff like this. I really do like this job. Would I do it for free?
You basically do.
Basically
to be honest.
Well, again, there's listen, if you don't think wrestlers get paid enough, talk about wrestling media. That's why we're like, let the wrestlers get paid so we can get paid. Yeah, that I like what I'm doing now. Otherwise, I would probably just be volunteering my time with like city issues in Toronto. Like we have a huge issue with people living, people experiencing homelessness. And I did that, before I did any of this stuff. I was working in that world, and I saw what it was like, and it sucked. And if money were no issue and I can live my life accordingly, I'd probably give my time to a lot of those services and try my best there. That's where I'm at.
Okay. Good answer.
Thanks, Steve. Show me volunteering.
Yeah, that's Joel just likes to do a lot of stuff that it's not going to get paid, so he just wants to continue to do it and not get paid.
I'm used to it. My whole life, I'm used to getting paid, but not very well. I'm used to getting by. How's that? I'm used to getting by. I always tell people, I always find a way to get by. We always do fine, but a lot of work. I was a musician. I was a professional full-time musician, and I got paid. And it's literally 3 years ago this week that all kind of finished. And I was, coming off the road, unsure when we were going to go back, and I've never gone back since. And it's more because, we had a kid, and I was, a little burnt out from the music world. So that was me. I just kind of moved on from being music oriented. I'll go back to it one day.
People are naming some good albums, by the way, of like what is the album you should listen to. Luis says Trap Called Quest, Low End Theory. Like that. Louis says a Kanye album. Kanye sucks, but great musician.
Art from
Jared says Dangerously in Love. I assume that's the Beyonce album. I don't know of another Dangerously in Love. Lemonade's better. All that. Is that a hot take?
Yeah. Sorry. I'm going to pick this up because it has no caller ID. BRB.
Oh, boy. All right. You going to play it on air? Oh, no. Coward. Illmatic. All right. I like that. I'm like that. Ryan says the best album to listen to is Now That's What I Call Music Volume. Whatever. That's a bangers. Bangers on the Now That's What I Call Music. Absolute bangers. Nas is very good. People are gonna. My GOAT answer is White. So that's just me. Though. I can recognize the greatness of like Nas and Jay-Z though. Adele, all right. All for Adele. Chronic 2001. Both the Chronic albums are really good. Apparently Dre's working on a new album. I'm pretty sure they were on Kimmel last night. Dre, Snoop, and 50 Cent were on Kimmel last night. That's when Dre announced that Eminem has a new album coming out this year. And I think Dre has also said he's working on a new album. They're finally gonna do Detox, baby. Let's go. I didn't dislike the NWA album that they did. To the tie-in with the movie. I didn't dislike that album. I still listen to a few of those songs. Actually, more than a few. Like, not just like one or two. Like I still listen to a good chunk of that album. Needed more Anderson .Paak. We'll say that. Need more Anderson .Paak. I love that Dre albums are the first album's a Snoop album. The second album, like the first Chronic album, that's a Snoop album because Snoop ghost wrote like that whole thing. Chronic 2001, ghost wrote that whole thing. And then the NWA album, Kendrick ghost wrote that whole thing. I don't want to say the whole thing, but you can tell the influence that those three had on, those albums. Just listening to it. And Dre's made no secret that he's not the lyricist. Thoughts on Obafemi? I like Obafemi. Got nothing against him. Seems like they're setting up a potential triple threat match for Stand and Deliver. We'll see. Yeah, Dre was always way more into producing than rapping.
Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. We were just talking about hand jobs some more.
Oh, we can never get away from it.
What are your thoughts on Dr. Dre, Joel?
Those headphones were not great. They started
Wow.
great, and then Apple bought them and made them just off.
Yeah, fair. Got paid.
He
Good
did
on him.
get paid. He shouldn't have gotten paid. I'm upset that he got paid so much money.
Is Dr. Dre overpaid?
Oh no.
He's not even a real doctor.
Believe me, I'm having enough conversation with doctors lately. I don't need any more. Anyway, yeah, I got nothing else. Matzo balls should absolutely. That should be number 1 on the list.
All right.
Are we still doing questions?
Well, that we had those 2 questions: the album, and then what would you do with the rest of your life if money wasn't an issue? Those are 2 questions. And then I get asked this from Chi-Town Spurs, or answer this. Do you think Cody Rhodes could have done a better job handling the Blitz in England than Winston Churchill? And correspondingly, could Winston Churchill be a top babyface in today's WWE?
So answer to number 2, yes. Especially when he cuts a major babyface hot fire promo. We shall go on to the ends, and we will never surrender. That's just the first and the last of that. Yeah, if you do that, perfect. Hot babyface, Winston Churchill. Let's go. Yeah, I don't want to do this, but we sent a super chat saying favorite conspiracy theory. Didn't we just do
WWE is undercutting talent pay to drive AEW out of business? So AEW overspends on all the free agents.
That the video released by Buckingham Palace through TMZ was not Kate Middleton. That's somebody else walking by with the prince.
It's not Kate Middleton.
It does not look at all like
it's not. Oh, I'm still deep in the Kate Middleton conspiracies. I'm telling you, this is what AEW needs to take its game to the next level. Pitch when you see Tony tonight, pitch him my conspiracy theory idea. Pitch him my idea.
Deal.
Of he needs to disappear for months. Can't tweet, anything like that. He needs to disappear for months. And this will take AEW to the next level. A big Tony Khan conspiracy theory.
Listen, would I love to talk conspiracy theories with Tony? Absolutely. Will I have the opportunity tonight? Probably not.
Coward. Just pull him aside.
I know. You know who I'm gonna go find? I'll find other people who are on the announce team. Talk to them about it. I'll find Serpentico. I'll ask him.
Serpentico.
We do. All right. What's left? We got to do an AEW Dynamite preview, and then we got to get out of here. Speaking of Tony Khan, where's Tony?
I'm working on this antitrust lawsuit article. Give me a second.
Seems bad. There's a lot tonight. By the way, for those who don't remember, AEW tonight is Dynamite followed by Rampage. So it's all 3 hours tonight on TNT. Did they make a change channel?
No.
Sorry, TBS. It's all TBS.
Is it all on TBS?
We're going to have to double check that.
Okay,
yeah, it is.
Okay, it's all on TBS. That'd be hilarious if Excalibur at the end of the show is like, now switch over to TNT for more Rampage, for more AEW.
I'm going to be exhausted tomorrow. I'm going to be at the show tonight in Toronto.
Coward.
They've got 2 matches announced for Rampage, which is great. But yeah, they've got 3 hours of TV going on, and who knows what else they're going to pull out of their hat. They probably won't tape any more Ring of Honor because they have enough in the can for 2 episodes.
They're going to tape. Won't they tape like some Ring of Honor beforehand? Probably.
Maybe.
I would think so.
I
would think they would tape some Ring of Honor beforehand.
They could. Who knows?
They do have a lot in the can though for Ring of Honor. They've been taping.
They taped on Wednesday,
allegedly,
before Dynamite, and then they taped again on Saturday before Collision, and after Collision, obviously.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
They heard I would be there and said, let's give him a Raw length AEW Dynamite.
Yeah, okay. I gotta yell at you, Joel. I gotta yell at you for a second.
Why do you have to yell at me?
I meant to talk to you about this off air before we started today, but then I didn't.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm gonna air personal stuff on air.
What did I do?
Yesterday, you send me this fucking email. Not sure if you've seen this. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson talks wrestling and more in upcoming podcast episode.
Joel Madden podcast.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't know how I am on this
I
publicist
don't know
list.
either.
I'm on a bunch of music publicist lists, and for some reason, and it doesn't go to my Gmail. It goes to like my personal music account, and I'm like, who keeps doing this? And if it's not a bunch of Taylor Swift clickbait, it's something that actually makes sense. And in this case, it was this. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Maybe Jeremy would like to get ahead of this. I'm helping you.
Hi, Joel. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is this week's guest on Joel Madden's podcast, Artists Friendly. He talks about how his dad was very adamant about him not getting into wrestling and why he still chose to do it. I think your readers will really enjoy this episode. Can I work with you on coverage? Joel, I don't know if you responded to this person. What you did do was forward this to me with "not sure if you've seen this." So you know what I did this morning, Joel? After I replied, "Why do you hate me?"
And I said spite mostly.
You know what I did this morning? I listened to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson speak with Joel Madden for 55 minutes.
Well, they did. There was some good stuff in there, right? Talking about their dads. The Mana. Cody Rhodes.
I'm sure that somebody got something out of this podcast. I'm sure, regular people. Yes, Joel Madden of Good Charlotte. I'm sure regular people enjoyed this podcast.
By the way, that's why it was sent to me. It's because it's a musician.
Yeah. I'm sure regular people got something out of this podcast. Me, a wrestling fan covering wrestling for a wrestling news site, I was so bored by this thing. So fucking bored. I got a story out of it. I got an article out of it. It's up on the website now. Go to Fightful.com, read the quote. But oh my gosh. Awful. Look, I'm sure, again, somebody enjoyed it out there. Joel Madden seemed like a fine host. He seemed like he's been around. He knows a lot of stuff. So boring, though. Just so boring. And it's your fault. I wouldn't have had to listen to this if it wasn't for you.
That was great. Sorry. I'm not sorry. Listen, I thought we would get something out of this, but apparently we didn't.
I got something.
You did?
Because I wouldn't be good at my job. I would not be good at my job if I listened to a 55-minute Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson interview and got nothing. I would be bad at my job. Even if it is not technically, it is wrestling related. He did talk about like his dad not wanting to get into wrestling. I would be bad at my job if I went through a 55-minute interview with The Rock and was like, well, there's just no stories to run out of this. You got to pull something.
That is true.
Out of it.
So what'd you pull for? Tell me off the air.
No, it's up on the website, Joel. Pay attention.
Okay. I'm going to make this even funnier. Apparently my shoot brother was listening this morning.
That's unfortunate.
You remember the part where we said everybody
jobs.
sends us $1?
Yeah.
To work on Mac. So he sent me an e-transfer. I didn't know for how much until I opened the email and it said, you asked for $1 this morning. My shoot brother sent me $1.
Good.
Shout out to
I
my
respect your brother.
I was expecting that to
for
be a
doing
different
this.
amount because of other conversations we've been having. That is hilarious to me.
I respect that your brother pays attention to this show and wants to support us and our fun for Mac and me. Everybody else should do the same. What's wrong with you people? If Joel's brother is willing to do this, why aren't you?
That is true. Give us all your money. You can give it all to me. I'll take it.
Why aren't you? If Joel's brother is willing to do this, everybody should be willing to send us $1. For $1, we can make dreams come true and make Mac and me. All we need is $1 from every WWE and UFC and AEW wrestler / fighter for $1. Let's have dreams come true to make Mac and me.
Are we done?
So I'm going to shoot on the website now. I'm trying to get this article up.
What are we shooting on the website when we're trying to do an AEW Dynamite preview and Rampage?
I don't know if I'm going to preview Rampage. I guess I got to. Shit.
I mean, it's all in the same picture here, so you probably
Is
brought
it?
that.
Our website's broken. I can't post this article, and it's annoying me.
Is it doing the Cloudflare thing?
No, I have been getting that a lot recently. But I'm just getting a white page.
Jimmy goes away.
Racist ass website.
Jimmy goes away for 2 weeks, and this is what we get.
Oh, it's annoying. All I'm trying to just
Do your job.
Yeah. You know what I don't like, Joel?
Doing your job.
Well, no, I do like doing my job. I like doing my job well, and I don't like when simple things make my job difficult. Should not be difficult to post an article on the website. And right now it's being difficult, and I'm not happy with that.
It's okay. I just got a message from the ITW general manager saying, "Start playing In the Arms of the Angel whenever that's or whatever that Sarah McLachlan song is during the pitch." And I said, "I was singing it in the background. You couldn't hear me.
Yeah.
I don't want us to get demonetized."
Yeah, Joel was singing.
I was singing. It was
Yeah,
there. You
allegedly.
have your headphones on.
Yeah, I could hear you.
Good stuff. Damn it.
Okay, finally. The Rock. I'm just kidding. All right.
Joe Maloney re-signed with New Japan Pro Wrestling. Let's go.
No, good for him. Yeah.
How much did he get paid?
I don't know. Did he get Mercedes money? Is he worth Mercedes money?
I wouldn't go that far.
Wow.
Oh, sorry. Before we do this, Tony, I have to ask one thing.
No.
This was actually the funniest thing, by the way. Lucha Blog, like everyone else, filled out their brackets for this March Madness tag team tournament.
Yeah.
And Lucha Blog had House of Black beating the Infantry. And then after the Infantry beat House of Black on Saturday, I happened to have opened my Twitter.
Yeah, Tony was like,
Tony replied, "Bracket busted." Yeah. I was like, you had that ready to go.
Yeah. Why did they pick House of Black? I mean, I get why, but like they were setting up Infantry and FTR.
I'm guessing Lucha Blog just didn't watch the episode of Collision from the week.
Wow.
Listen, Lucha Blog covers a lot of stuff. They just don't cover, AEW Collision when they could be covering El Patron versus Nick Nemeth, the belt collector Nick Nemeth. I'm asking, please. The one time I need Nick Nemeth to collect all the belts in wrestling, this is it. Nick
Nemeth is going to face Ishii at Windy City Riot.
That's going to be a good match, and Nick Nemeth is going to beat Tomohiro Ishii, and everyone's going to be upset.
Are they going to be upset? I think people get
when who was it that beat him, and everyone got angry in the New Japan Cup?
Oh, I don't remember.
It was someone who beat him, and it was someone else, some other champion, and I had a good laugh about it.
Ishii always lose.
Yeah, the man's been around.
Yeah. It's like when Goto. People were excited for Goto in the New Japan Cup final.
Chase Owens. That's right. It was Chase Owens.
Well, Chase Owens should win.
Yeah, he should. And then I remember, was it Ibu from WrestlePeerance was just like so upset about it. And I just quote tweeted, I said, a current New Japan champion beat a former New Japan champion. I don't see what's so wrong about that. And people were like, they were taking it so seriously.
Yeah. Ishii and Goto, just giant losers.
Future, by the way, future House of Torture leader Nick Nemeth. Okay.
Oh, that Jack Perry, Nick Nemeth feud to see who leads House of Torture.
Gonna hit, baby.
Gonna hit like crack.
Wait for it.
As the kids like to say.
There it is. The best. Anyway.
Now go home and smoke some more crack.
AEW Dynamite tonight, live from Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
Joel, okay, do the pitch, Joel. You're gonna be there. Do the pitch.
I will be there. I will see you there. Lots on the card.
Come on.
I'm not blowing out my lungs for this. I'm gonna
Come on, Joel.
I got a whole night of talking ahead of me. You're gonna do it.
You don't have to talk to anybody. Nobody wants to talk to you.
I gotta see people. Stephanie Chase is gonna be there. I gotta make a good.
How is she?
I mean, she's in Toronto. It would be weird if she wasn't.
Well, Come on, Joel. Do the pitch.
No, you were doing it, Tony. You do it so well.
Joel, do the pitch.
Nah, I'm good.
It's Toronto. I feel you should do the pitch for all the Canadian shows. What do you think, Chad?
Sounds awful.
What do you think, Chad?
Because WWE is doing a whole bunch of things in the next few weeks in Canada. I'm not doing it.
Hold on.
Are you replying to a message?
Can't say it on air. I've been banned from saying this on air. The standards and practices are censoring me from saying this on air.
I mean, as they should.
Is that the reason?
Did you send it to me?
Yeah, it's in the private chat.
Oh, it's in the private. I thought you sent it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah. No, that's definitely it. Yeah, that's the reason.
Can't say this on air, everybody.
Yeah, no, you
Standards and
can't. I
practices.
have standard in practice to Jeremy into not saying it.
Yeah. Coward.
You can't say that word in this chat. You're just so good at it. People like it. Go ahead.
Get my water.
Yeah, there you go. Choke it down like Kenny.
By the way, we're scheduled to have Timothy Thatcher on Friday.
Let's go.
Okay. All right.
Was that
But before we get to Friday, it is AEW Dynamite tonight live at 8 p.m. Eastern, only on CBS. And it's not only AEW Dynamite live tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, only on CBS. It is AEW Rampage, a special episode live at 10 p.m. Eastern, only on TBS. We have a tremendous show for AEW Dynamite live, 8 p.m. Eastern on TBS. One of the best shows we've ever put on. One of the best AEW Dynamite cards ever. We're bringing one of our best shows, the most tremendous lineup to Toronto. We know all you fans in Toronto are used to seeing a bunch of losers in Toronto, like the Toronto Maple Leafs. Not tonight, not on AEW Dynamite live, 8 p.m. Eastern on TBS. All you're going to see is champions and winners and people made of money like Mercedes Moné. She is going to be live 8 p.m. Eastern on AEW Dynamite, only on TBS, live in Toronto. We are going to hear from the CEO of AEW. We are going to hear from Mercedes Moné. What will she have to say 1 week after her big, gigantic debut at AEW Dynamite Big Business, which took place last week on AEW Dynamite at 8 p.m. Eastern on TBS. She will be live tonight, AEW Dynamite from Toronto, 8 p.m. Eastern, only on TBS. Hear what Mercedes Moné, the CEO of AEW has to say live tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, only on TBS. Plus, in the women's division, AEW Women's Champion Toni Storm will team with Mariah May. That's Mariah May, not Toni Storm from a few years ago. I promise you it's Mariah May. Toni Storm, Mariah May. They will team up to take on Deonna Purrazzo and Thunder Rosa in a hard-hitting, exciting tag team match. You won't want to miss it. AEW Dynamite live tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, only on TBS. We're also going to have Lionheart. That's Lionheart. It's not Painmaker. It's not Rainmaker. It's the Lionheart. It's not Le Champion. It's not Ball Champion. It's not the Ocho. It is the Lionheart. It's not Y2J. It is not Y2 Jelly, KY Jelly. It is Lionheart. Chris Jericho taking on Hook, Send Hook. Hook will be sent to take on Chris Jericho tonight, live 8 p.m. Eastern, only on TBS. And we got two, count them, one, count them, two tremendous title matches. They don't know nothing about titles in Toronto. They definitely don't know about two championships in Toronto. They ain't seen a championship since 1930-something in Toronto with the Maple Leafs. But you will see champions live tonight in action, only on AEW Dynamite, TBS, 8 p.m. Eastern. First in the AEW Continental Championship, it is going to be AEW Continental Champion, ROH Champion, and New Japan Strong Champion Eddie Kingston. He will be defending only the AEW Continental Championship. Please put that down. It is only the AEW Continental Championship. It's not for all three titles. I know we just did this big tournament where he won all three titles, and it makes it seem like it's Triple Crown. They're all going to be defended, but it's only the AEW Continental Championship. Tonight, Eddie Kingston, he takes on the Rainmaker, one of the biggest signings in AEW history, along with Mercedes Moné, along with Will Ospreay. Also up there is one of the biggest signings in AEW history, Kazuchika Okada, former IWGP World Champion, former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, former IWGP everything. He goes for the AEW Continental Classic Championship tonight against Eddie Kingston. It is Eddie Kingston. It is Kazuchika Okada. It is only on AEW Dynamite. Win live 8 p.m. Eastern on TBS tonight in Toronto. Plus, in the main event of the evening, the homecoming for Adam Copeland. Last time he was in Toronto, he didn't know if he was going to return to Toronto. Who would ever want to return to a city that bursts a bunch of losers like the Toronto Maple Leafs? But Adam Copeland, he is back in Toronto tonight, live 8 p.m. Eastern on AEW Dynamite. He will be taking on Christian Cage for the AEW TNT Championship. And an I Quit match. One man will have to say two words to win one singular title, the AEW Dynamite TNT Championship. Tonight, it is Christian Cage. It is Adam Copeland. Adam Copeland has promised to maim Christian Cage with a spike. He has a spike 2x4, and he promises he's going to make Christian Cage say, I quit. It'll be Christian Cage defending the AEW TNT Championship in the main event in Toronto in an I Quit match against his longtime friend, his longtime rival, the man, the myth, the legend, one of the greatest superstars and icons and legends we've ever seen in the history of wrestling. It is rated R era. Adam Copeland against Christian Cage live tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, only on TBS, only on AEW Dynamite. And don't miss Rampage at 10 o'clock.
Best Friends versus the Don Callis.
It is AEW Rampage live tonight. That's right, baby. It is live AEW Rampage, a special edition of AEW Rampage. We got the Best Friends, Orange Cassidy and Trent, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Trent, he will be teaming with Orange Cassidy to take on the Don Callis family members, Kyle Fletcher and Powerhouse Hobbs. It is part of the AEW Tag Team Championship Tournament. It's a wild card matches before March Madness kicks off this weekend with the tournament. That's why AEW Rampage is tonight and not on Friday, and that's why there's no Collision on Saturday, because they got the NCAA tournament. But you can get all your tournament action tonight. AEW Rampage, TBS, 10 p.m. Eastern, live. Best Friends against the Don Callis family. And you won't want to miss this. It's a street fight in the women's division. Chris Statlander teaming with Willow Nightingale to take on AEW TBS champion Julia Hart and Sky Blue. The AEW women's street fights have been some of the greatest matches in AEW history. And we promise we're going to add to that chapter tonight when it's Chris Statlander and it's Willow Nightingale taking on Julia Hart and Sky Blue. Live 10 p.m. Eastern on AEW Rampage, only on TBS. Thank you to all the great AEW fans. 3 hours, count them. 1, 2, 3 hours of live AEW action tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, with AEW Dynamite on TBS. 10 p.m. Eastern, AEW Rampage on TBS. Thank you to all the great AEW fans. We are sold out in 6,000. They're going to be hanging from the rafters in Toronto to witness championships, to witness history, to witness greatness, something they never see with the Toronto Maple Leafs. It is only on TBS, 8 p.m. Eastern, AEW Dynamite, 10 p.m. Eastern, AEW Rampage, TBS, tonight, 3 hours of live AEW action. Thank you to all the great AEW fans for all your tremendous support. Justified, this is awesome chant.
Anything else to plug?
No.
I got to get out of here. So Friday, Tim Thatcher, let's go. That's the plan. Tentative. Could talk to him about a lot of stuff, mostly MLW, because guess what? There's there to promote MLW. Anything else?
No.
Any shows coming up? Go check out Indeed. They had Nyla Rose. That's a fun interview. Anything else to add? All right. I'm going to sign off then. You ready? You good?
I don't think I have a voice.
That sounds like a problem. Ladies and gentlemen, friends beyond the binary, I am Joel Pearl. JWLPARL. We'll see you on Friday. We're out of time.